to know whether the rest of the minority members were having the feelings that my engagement with the minority leader would result into a calm and the proceedings ongoing. And there was that word spilled out, and the whole thing became uncontrollable. I believed a little patience would have resolved the issue between me and the minority leader, but he also didn't have.
Thank you. So just to make sure, you did not call for a suspension of the sitting. Very well. My final question is, at any point, did the marshals enter the committee room on your instruction? Or did you call for the marshals to enter?
Yes, I asked my usher to bring in the marshal because I sit as a chair with my ears widely open.
Oh, Vincent.
Chair, good. Thank you very much. The Speaker, would you be surprised that those who were involved in the scuffle, we had one person who was not a member of Parliament, not part of parliamentary staff. Let me use the word, he was an imposter, yet he was part, a stranger, yet he was part of the scuffle.
Well, I won't be surprised. As I indicated, there was a voice saying, call them in. So I wouldn't be able to know exactly who were requested to be called in. And I must say that we have fresh members of Parliament that I am yet to be familiar with. So it's difficult to say this is a member of Parliament, this is not a member of Parliament. But I already told the committee that he said, call them in. And I wouldn't know who exactly were requested to be called in. So it is possible that there may be an imposter called in.
Yeah, Honorable.
Last one.
Sorry.
Just to ask if you recommend in future to beef up the security, especially around this activity, because looking at what happened and then what we have also heard, the number of people that come along with nominees, would you recommend that in future at least we put some limitation on the number of people that will come along with nominees?
Thank you very much, exactly so. And I must admit that on this occasion, if you look at the letters written to the nominees, there is a maximum beyond which you must not go. That is 10. But I must say, this has been grossly abused by most of the nominees. The letter says 10.
Honorable Bid. Question? Okay. Honorable Izara.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Speaker, since this is your first time of chairing the appointment committee, do you feel that minority showed some bad faith during this episode?
Thank you very much. I have been in minority, and I came to Parliament in majority. I have been involved in committee proceedings. I must say that sometimes I see frustration on part of the minority because there were some external pressure on them, and that has resulted into them doing certain things that ordinarily should not happen. Mr. Chairman, if I may be give you a bit background. Honorable Emmanuel Amabua was scheduled to be vetted on Monday. Then on Saturday in the evening, I received a call from the minority leader to the effect that some people are not too happy about the last State of the Nation address of the former president, particularly the words used by Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boah. They felt that the president has been denigrated. As a result, there was a pressure not to proceed to vet Honorable Amabua. And I said, no, this will be real difficulty. I would find it very difficult to accede to the request, particularly if he has been written to appear on Monday. So I reached out to the clerk of the committee, and there was a confirmation that he had been handed over a letter to appear on Monday. So I called back to say that it's going to be very difficult. The event that unfolded resulted into the influencing the minority leaders' behavior towards the clerk. Because there was an issue to the effect that the clerk should take me as a chairman out of the arrangement to vet or not to vet Amabua on Monday, Honorable Emmanuel Amabua on Monday, and take the responsibility, take him also out, and then postpone Emmanuel Amabua, which was difficult for the clerk to do. And I believe the minority leader is not happy about this. So I'm of the view that they were also under some kind of pressures informing the way they go about doing certain things. There was a pressure that Honorable Sam George should not be vetted. Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa should be the last to be vetted. So a lot has been happening.
Thank you very much, Honorable Enyimedu.
Mr. Chairman, this is the first time you are chairing a committee in this House. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct, because I entered Parliament in 2013, and the very first post I was given was the Vice Chairman for the Judiciary Committee, and I have occasion of chairing the Judiciary Committee. Then in my second term, I became the Vice Chairman for the Subsidiary Legislation Committee, and you are aware that I've also been chairing the Subsidiary Legislation Committee. Then I became a ranking member for Constitutional, Legal, and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. So this is actually not my first experience chairing, but this is my first experience chairing the Appointment Committee.
Yeah, but what you said, the explanation you've given me, says that you were advised to some committees, but this is the first time you are chairman of a committee. Is that correct?
No, I was vice chairman for Judiciary Committee in my first term. So I had the opportunity to chair in the absence of the chairman. Then in my second
chairing
term,
a committee, but being holding the position of a chairman of a committee. This is the first time, because you were vice chair. I'm not saying this is the first experience of chairing a meeting.
well, your word used is that this is your first time of chairing a committee. Chairing a committee is one thing, and holding the position of a chairman of a committee is another thing.
Okay, so I'm asking the fact that this is the first time you are holding the position of a chairman.
Exactly so.
Right. Would you agree with me from your narrative that prior to when the Thursday meeting, you were prejudiced against the minority?
It is far from that.
Why did you say
I
we
was
should
not.
go and look at their faces on the Tuesday proceedings?
Well, the whole thing emanated from Tuesday, and the actual rioting started on that Tuesday. I said so because over the publication, we have taken a decision at conclave to deal with the issue. So I was highly surprised that we'll resolve that at conclave. Then we'll come to the sitting, and a member at conclave will be hitting the table that there will be no vetting. There will be no vetting. There will be no vetting. That is why I'm saying that I am surprised about certain turn of event, because for me, if I agree to do something with you, why would I change my mind all of a sudden and come and be doing something different?
Yeah, I think you have said so, that you are a man of your own words. You don't want you to be taken unaware of the things that you've agreed on from the onset. And so maybe my vice chair will be guided as he asks the next question.
I know Bedan very well. You said along the line, minority leader called, you received a phone call that Honorable Akando should be added to the list of the nominees that were going to engage on Thursday. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm speaking on oath, and this is confirmed.
I have no reason to doubt you.
Yes.
My next question is that when
Yes,
you
let me conclude my answer. Yes, and this was followed by his directive to the minority whip, who also called the clerk of the committee that Akando should be added.
Now, when you received this call, did you inform the rest of the committee members that you were going to deal with Honorable Akando on that day?
Well, thank you very much. We have chairman and we have ranking. And you know, chairman leads the majority side and ranking leads the minority side. So what I did was to inform my members in the morning that Akando will be added. And then properly, the minority leader also communicated with his members, leading to the minority whip placing a call to the clerk of the committee.
Mr. Chairman, did you find out whether the minority side had been communicated to so far as this additional nominee was concerned?
Well, I do not expect to reach an agreement with the minority leader, out of which the minority whip will call the clerk, and the rest of the members may not be aware. But I'm not in a position to tell whether the other two have been informed, because there were 4 on the committee. So 2 was involved. So it's left with the other 2.
Mr. Chairman, with a little patience, the scaffold that we witnessed could have been prevented. You agree with me on that?
100%.
Now, the case of the minority was that they were being surprised. Were you surprised to hear that they were being ambushed?
I will be highly surprised. Highly, highly surprised.
Severally, you mentioned...
I said so because some of the changes that were made The minority leader and the whip has instances of making their input on the table. And maybe probably the clerk of the committee will be able to produce that particular record, because when we agreed, then I would then instruct the clerk that this is what we have agreed upon. So the clerk should have some of those arrangements that were altered by ticking and cancellation. And they can subject it to a forensic to establish that it is in the handwriting of the minority leader and sometimes the whip, the minority whip.
You have said repeatedly that you had gone into conclave with the committee. How many people did you agree to vet on that Thursday?
That Thursday, original list that was not altered was 3. But because we didn't work on Wednesday, the agreement was that they should merge the 2. And after merging the 2, we realized that it is 8. I will not be able to do the 8. So we've taken a decision to do the first 5. And there was a follow-up call that we should add Akando, making 6.
So what about Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa? He was supposed to be the 7th person?
Honorable members, Okudzeto Ablakwa was one of the original people to be vetted on Thursday. So if you see his letter slated Thursday.
Honorable First Deputy Speaker, you just mentioned that during your conclave meetings, you've agreed to add Honorable Akando. That will make it 6. And so, Honorable Okudzeto, even though he has original letter slated for Thursday, because the committee agreed that you are going to have that meeting, that you agreed that Akando should be added to the 5 members who are supposed to be vetted on Wednesday, shifted to Thursday. So, in a nutshell, Okudzeto was not part of the second agreement that you had with your members.
Thank you very much. This is a very important question. Honorable members of the committee, sometimes some of the nominees take less than 1 hour before us. So the instruction to the clerk of the committee is that she should hold the list of the 8. If you are able to go beyond the 6, then they could also be taken. Because sometimes it's difficult to predict the length of time that the committee will take to vet one person. And having watched the videos, you can agree with me that some people were vetted 45 minutes, less than 1 hour, they are also vetted. So if we are able to use the same approach, it is possible we could even say that, oh, we want to vet 6 people, but looking at the time that we have finished the vetting, is it possible to take the additional 2, meaning that the whole list is exhausted? So we didn't have a block mind on that, going beyond the 6. We never had a block mind on that. And as a matter of fact, if we had even started early and there was no 1 hour delay, we could have even done more than the 6.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that the chaos engendered because of poor planning by the committee.
Well, I am of exception in the sense that how could poor planning lead to an arrangement of a timetable?
I say poor planning because as of 8 p.m., we still had, and according to what we have received, you still had
Was used.
So, it's not my last one. So you say the 6 were, you had planned to vet 6, and 2 more were waiting. So if you had finished, or you were supposed to do the 8 in all. So it was, if we are able to, then the others would be vetted. And therefore you had invited all the nominees to come with their followers.
Honorable member, clearly speaking, because of the backlog, the number went to 8. But before the backlog, the nominees were written to. They were given letters. So it is not the case that we have agreed on the 6 and again issued letter for 2 to be on standby. The number was as a result, because when we agreed on the timetable for the week, the clerk was instructed to give letters according to the calendar agreed upon, according to the program, and then the time frame. So the clerk has already communicated that to them. And it was the 8th for that day was as a result of the backlog, which we have to deal with. So it's not the case that they have been written a letter after the backlog to say that we have deliberately invited 8 when we know we can only deal with 6.
Honorable Ahiafo, you insisted when, according to you, some of the minority leaders told you that they were having a caucus meeting, and then you, on your own, found out that there was no caucus meeting. At that point, you went ahead to do the vetting without the minority. Is that correct?
No, it is far from that. Honorable members, I waited and I entered the vetting room exactly at 10 o'clock. That they changed the 9 o'clock to. So we commenced proceeding that day around 10:25.
So if you started on the time that you agreed on, why are you telling us that they said they were going for a caucus meeting and they didn't have a caucus
Honorable
meeting? What is the
Ahimedu,
relevance of
the
that?
point that I am making is that the scheduled time was 9 o'clock. So around 8:45, I received a call to rather shift the time to 10 o'clock. And for me, a decision to have a caucus may not be taken the very morning. I have been a member of the caucus. How do you reach out to your caucus members to attend meeting? So I became surprised. Yet, I have decided to accommodate by shifting the commencement of the vetting from 9 at 9 o'clock. The majority side will come and be waiting for the minority side.
Well,
you can watch all the proceedings.
Honorable Speaker, even today, we agreed to start at 10, but we start at 10:30.
Yes.
So it's possible.
Yes.
Relax. This is a friendly chat.
I'm more than relaxed.
Honorable Nyimedu, this is your last question.
Well, I will not ask the question again, but I will advise my brother as the chair that with little restraint, I would want the chairman to be very accommodating, and then we can have a free life. Thank you.
This is a free advice.
Thank you very much, but with the free advice, I want to place on record that I have been very tolerant and accommodative.
I know.
As a result of which the general public even have the feeling that my level of tolerance was too much that I was even weak.
I know the two of you have been friends and you are brothers. So whether you are tolerant or not tolerant, the two of you know each other. And so please, let's keep it like that. On that note, First Deputy Speaker, we want to discharge you. Thank you very much for attending upon this committee. We will now take Honorable...
Thank you very much for having me.
Honorable Jifar Ablagomashi. Please, we have... This should be not more than 10 minutes. We have other colleagues coming in. They've called that they want to come. And so please let it be as short as possible. Thank you.
I, Abla Jifar Gomashi,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jifar Abla Gomashi, Minister Abla Jifar Gomashi. Thank you for attending upon this committee. As you watched the video, you saw yourself in the video. Please, can you tell us, this committee, what really happened on that fateful day?
Good morning again to everybody. Thank you, Chairman, for the opportunity. On that fateful day, I saw the absence of tolerance. I saw the absence of camaraderie. I saw the absence of the respect for this institution called the Parliament of Ghana. On that fateful day, I saw total disrespect for a woman who has risen through the ranks to be the clerk to the committee that was vetting nominees for His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. I saw an attack on the woman and the inability of leadership of the committee to protect her. I saw total chaos in the committee room and the destruction of property belonging to the Republic of Ghana. Chairman, that's what I saw, that's what I felt, and that's what I've come to share with you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Committee members, this was what Honorable Abla Jifar Gomashi saw. Any question?
Okay, Chair, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, you had the opportunity to watch the videos, okay? So you confirm that the videos that was shown to us have not been doctored.
I can confirm that it is not doctored, and it is the reflection of the person who took it from a certain angle in the room. I mean that I saw more than what was shown on the screen. Thank you.
Honorable Gisela.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, what do you think, from where you start, from the videos I saw, you were sitting from the middle to the north end of the table. What do you think, from where you sat, could have triggered this scenario? Was it misunderstanding, not intolerance, or what could have triggered it?
Thank you very much, Chair. I sat right where my handbag is right now, and the clerk to the committee sat to my right. I think that fellow feeling, mutual respect for one another, and the office, and this office, could have averted all that happened. If that answers your question.
Okay. Since members do not have more questions for you, let me find out. Oh, you have a question. Okay, let me ask my question, then I'll allow you. What were you doing here on that day? You are not a member of the appointment committee. What were you doing here?
Yes, Chairman, I am not a member of the committee, but I received an invitation from my colleagues who were nominated and were going to be vetted. Specifically, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and Honorable Samuel Jatta George. And I obliged to attend to them. Thank you.
Honorable Bede.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Mr. Chairman, from the video that we saw, we observed that you got up from your seat and then stood up. What did you intend to do when you stood up?
To defend the clerk, really, it was difficult to watch what was happening, and I felt helpless. I saw that she's a very calm woman. I asked her, can you hear my side asking you to swear in Honorable Akando? And she calmly, with poise and finesse, said, the clerk to Parliament is in the room. I take instructions from him, not from you. And I thought, but, sorry. It was really hard to watch. I'm sorry.
Just a follow-up. So your action was not to participate in what was going on.
Mr. Chairman, I'm a member of Parliament and lucky to be, or blessed to be, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. I am standing on the shoulders of all women who have fought, including the amazing Haji Ladi who is sitting at this table, to dare to be who I am today. And it was hard for me to watch another woman who had also worked hard and was here in her capacity as a representative of Parliament, being virtually lynched by a man who should know better. I impulsively just stood up to ask him, what are you going to do? Because he kept saying, I will deal with you. And because she couldn't speak, I impulsively thought that I had become Yasantua for a moment. And I got up to ask him what he was going to do to her. Because it was the right thing to do at that moment. I'm not sure if I would allow myself to shout across a room like that again. But on that day, it was the best I could do. Thank you.
So finally, who was that person who was shouting?
It was the deputy, no, it was the minority leader, Honorable Kwamena Apanyuma King, who was shouting across the room.
That will be fine for that. That will be all for now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Abla Jifa Kumashi. Thank you for attending upon this committee. When
It's a
we
duty
need you,
I've performed with pleasure. Thank
when
you.
we need you, we'll call on you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we now have Honorable Umar?
I, Al-Hassan Umar, swear by the Almighty Allah that the evidence I shall give before this committee touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me Allah.
Thank you, Honorable, for responding to the invitation of the committee. The chairman has just stepped out briefly and has asked me to hold the space. If you could just kindly introduce yourself first and foremost, and then proceed to just let us know where you were on the day. And I believe you saw the video, and just to confirm whether you were the person we identified in the video. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Al-Hassan Umar, MP for Zabzugu. I also a member of the appointment committee. I was seated where the clerk is, next to Haji Aladi. I think I observed all the proceedings to the end. And if you watch the video, you'll see me being surprised, pointing fingers or hand to people on the opposite side for the activities that was unveiling before us and the national platform, and how we were bringing Parliament and the title honorable to disrepute. That was my concern. Thank you.
Miss, any questions?
So, Honorable Member, I hope you have, can you tell us what happened on the, I know you are a member of the appointment committee. Can you just brief us briefly, because the cameras are needed in the chamber now, and so after two of you, the rest, we will do it without the cameras, because we have to go to the chamber.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you. On that day, which happened, which was Thursday, standing on the account of my chairman, who is also the first deputy speaker, we had preempted the Wednesday vetting. And so we had a backlog of nominees that had to be vetted. On arrival, we entered the hall, the committee hall, to do the vetting at 10. Whilst we were here, our colleagues, the minority chief whip, came and said, no, we cannot have the vetting go on. We needed to go into conclave to meet. So we followed them up to the committee room adjacent to this place. And when we look at the list, they said no. They are going to do 4, and a candle will be included. But we said, look, we didn't we preempted Wednesday. And so those bad luck, if we are able to finish the 4 early, then we could add some of them, and so that the overflow would be sent to Friday. And that was the agreement. Now, still the chief whip, Honorable Anudampra, was heard still yelling and not agreeing. So when we entered the hall, when we came back to the committee to start, we had finished the last person, that was transport. And the chairman asked Honorable Akando to take his seat. And when Honorable Akando came to take his seat, the minority leader stood up and said he would not agree. The chief whip of the minority got up and was banging the table. Then the non-members of the committee, but belonging to minority, their numbers, and started disrupting the tables, pulled the tables as well as the microphones. And when chairman said the clerk should read the oath and allow the nominee to take the oath, then the opponents, that is Honorable Anudampra and Co., started to, they put on their mics. And so there was no way any mic could work again. And that brought it to a...
Sorry, they are not opponents. They are the minority.
Thank you, Chairman, for the guidance. And so they were not still satisfied. All what we saw was that one of them, the deputy minority whip, came to the nominee to prevent him from taking his oath. If you watch the video, you see him. And so we were surprised. And that was when the scuffle continued.
Can you give us the name of the whip who went to prevent Honorable Akando from taking his oath?
Honorable Ahmed Shaibu, who came here, and if you watch the video, you'll see him. Jerry Shaibu, I think it's Jerry Shaibu, MP for Waja. Okay, MP for Waja. So they came to prevent him, and so the nominee also, supporters and sympathizers, prevented him, and so there was scuffle. Then there was this MP, a non-member of the committee, but I believe one of the people called in to fight. Former Deputy Minister for Trade. I was just seated across. And he pulled the second desk. At that time.
As Honorable Michael Ochri Befi.
Exactly, I don't know his name.
Okay.
And so he pulled the table, widening the space, as Honorable Anudampra and Co. had also pulled the first table. So the space started widening. And so everything started, even at the time we had some cups of coffee, everything started dismantling. So you could see that our colleagues who were still in the house also came to help, rearrange the tables. And that was when the scuffle went out of hand. And so it led to one of the tables, the first table, I saw it going up and coming down with 2 legs.
Okay, colleagues, we've all watched the video. It looks like he has just informed the House exactly what we saw. And so if you have any question.
Came in for a purpose. So their presence, was it helpful, or it really exacerbated the problem?
Thank you, Chairman. I think our colleagues came to stabilize the unwarranted attacks on the committee members, because if you look at it, the minority side from day one or from the morning, I think it started on Tuesday, were bent on not allowing the process to flow, as my chairman explained.
Yeah, I heard earlier that those MPs were called in by the leadership of the minority caucus. Did you also hear anything from the majority side that they should also try to mobilize to stabilize the situation? Did you also hear anything like that?
No, I did not hear anything from my chief whip or any member of the majority side. Maybe our colleagues saw it on the TV in their rooms, so they decided to come.
Did you also observe that apart from the members of parliament, we had someone who wasn't a member also involved? And I think he was also helping to stabilize the situation, or was a debating. He wasn't a member of parliament, but he also came on board. Did you realize that?
No, you know, I'm one of the Asha returns, so a lot of the first timers and also who came after me, I'm still trying to get to know them.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Alhassan Umar. We thank you for attending upon this committee. If we need you again, we'll call on you. Thank you. You are discharged. Can we call Honorable Emmanuel Kofi Ntekunu? You were here when we showed the video. Okay. Can you please administer the oath?
So we start. I, Emmanuel Kofi Ntekuni,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
shall
be the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Emmanuel Kofi Ntekunu, you're welcome. Are you a member of the appointment committee?
No, please.
So on the 30th of January, what were you doing here in this room?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. But before I proceed, the correct pronunciation of my name is Ntekuni. Ntekuni. Thank you. Yes, so...
thank you for the correction.
I am not a member of the appointment committee, but as a first entrant in the parliament, I took key interest to come here, observe and learn. So I was here to observe and learn.
So can you tell us what exactly you saw on that 30th of January when you were here?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And I'm happy you gave me the opportunity to give my vivid account of what happened on that day. Yes, I was right.
If you can summarize it for us within 5 minutes. We'll
right. Thank you. If you watch all the videos, you see that I was all over, conspicuously and visibly seen.
You were in a light blue shirt, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. We saw you.
Thank you.
That's why we invited you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, so my role was to bring calm, prevent and protect state property. I was right behind the minority group, and I saw what happened. The message came from Honorable Minority Leader to Honorable Anodampe, and then he transmitted it to Honorable Jerry to tell the caucus members that they were not going to participate in the vetting of the nominees. So I quickly went to Honorable Jerry and told him that they needed to do that because looking at the people who came, they needed to clear them so that they can go home. Some people were from far places. He said, no, it won't happen. And then I stood aside. I engaged, in the video you saw, I engaged most of the minority groups to persuade them. And I even suggested to them that they should go into conclave and dialogue with our leadership so that this thing should not degenerate into a different thing. No, they said, not everything that you have to dialogue. So I stood aloof, aside. Then, all of a sudden, Honorable Anodampe started issuing command that they should pull the tables apart. So in one of the videos, you will see that I was the one he shouted to ask me, who are you? So upon seeing that, I went to him and tapped at his back gently. And I said, Honorable, you are a leader. You don't need to do this and destroy the state property. And the video, it was captured clearly. You don't need to spoil the state property. So he turned and looked at me and then quizzed me, who are you? So I calmly answered him, I'm a member of parliament for Pro West. And he said, it won't happen. That was the way he used, it will not happen. I said, no, but you have a better way of doing this, not by agitation and aggression. So he continued with the process. So in the video, you saw that I held two people's hands. One was Honorable Baefi. He attempted, should I say, struggling or going physical with Honorable Peso. Yes. And then I held his hand just to prevent that. He struggled, and then I told him, calm down. You saw in the video, I was just trying to calm both sides, calming them down, calm down. It hasn't gotten to that. Don't do this. So it was a smile all this while with them, persuasion and all that. Then they went ahead. The command kept coming, pull the table and the gadgets apart. That was when we also started.
The command came from who?
From Honorable Anodampe. Okay. So that was when we also started pulling the tables apart as they pulled them, pushing them together as they were pulling them apart.
You and who?
Myself, I saw this honorable man, one
Honorable Gakpe.
Honorable Gakpe, and then one from Bia East. Is it Bia East?
Charles Asiedu.
Charles Asiedu was there, and that guy too. So, okay. So we were trying hard to keep the tables together so that the process could continue. In the process, they were overpowering us with their force. That was when Honorable Chief Whip came in to support us there so that we could keep the tables together. And then there was a space as they pulled the tables apart. The Honorable Jerry got in between the tables, still was pushing it away. That was when the gadget started falling apart and all that. So you saw me holding the table. It wasn't like I was trying to, destroy the table. But as Honorable Jerry was trying to pull it, we resisted it, and it felt like he has to raise it. So counter-resistance must happen to bring the table down. That was when you saw me in the video raising the table. The table came down, and surprisingly, that the leg, one of the legs that was in touch with the ground got broken. But the one above, one of them above, was not broken. And that was the second time I held another honorable's hand. So one honorable man intentionally broke the leg of the table. So in an attempt to do that, I held the hand.
Okay.
And then...
Who is that honorable man again? Who broke the leg intentionally?
I can identify the person by his image.
We'll be inviting you again tomorrow. Some of you will be coming back tomorrow. We've noticed that some of you were actively involved.
Yes.
Today we are just taking witnesses. And then tomorrow, those who were actively involved, including yourself, will be here again. And so we'll show you the video where you were involved, where you lifted a table, or preventing the table from being lifted.
Exactly.
And so there are questions, follow-up questions that we'll be asking you tomorrow. And so I'll leave my colleagues if they have any question concerning witnessing. What he has seen, he has narrated it, if you have any question, so that tomorrow we can go deeper into the main issues.
Thank you, Chairman. So, the real reason why we saw you moving around and we saw you actually very busy was to avert the distraction which was about to be caused by reason of the commission. That's the reason why you were moving around.
Honorable Chair, that's right. That is so.
According to, you said you came to observe and to learn. That was the reason why. You did not get any call from the leadership of the majority caucus to come in.
Honorable Chair, no. I was here before the incident started.
Are you very proud of what you did?
Honorable, can you please?
I'm asking you whether you are very, very proud of what you observed.
Honorable Chair, no. Issue that I thought could easily be resolved amicably by dialogue or going to conclave, which I personally told them to do that, degenerated into a different thing altogether, so I wasn't proud.
And as a first-timer, I knew before you came to Parliament, you had a very high expectation. So, what is the picture now about what you saw? What is the picture?
Honorable, parliamentarians are highly regarded and respected. What I saw here painted a different picture outside there, but I know it was one of those things. I still have high respect for honorable members.
Honorable Zaneto.
Thank you very much. This is actually more a question for you, Mr. Chairman. Given that the witness has mentioned having identified who broke one of the table legs, given that part of the mandate of this committee is to ascertain who was part of the direct involvement of the destruction of property, would it be out of order to perhaps show footage so he can actually identify the person by face, since he does not know the person by name?
We agreed yesterday that we're going to look into the very details of breaking tables and chairs, and as well as removing the cables. That will be done tomorrow. And so tomorrow we'll invite him again to identify the culprit or the honorable member who we know, we saw it, but he might not know the person. But as he watch the video with us tomorrow, he will identify the person. Because we also who went under the table by breaking the leg of the table.
Mr. Chair, honorable member, this is like a baptism of fire, isn't it?
Exactly so.
This is not what you expected.
That is so.
Yes, nobody did. I think this is a lesson to all of us. Those who were in the room, those who watched it immediately online or afterwards, that there should be a bit more tolerance amongst us. And so as a first-timer, don't let this be the norm. And this goes out to all first-timers also. Even second-timers like myself. This should not be the norm. And this is not what the public should see us do. And this goes to both the majority and the minority. Thank you. I'm sure you'll be called again tomorrow.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And you might have seen the videos, the role I played by calming both sides down. And I'm not that type, not aggressive, and I believe in dialogue and join to, arrive at a concrete decision. Thank you.
Well, we are not here to praise you. We are here to assess and know those who are involved, deeply involved. And so tomorrow we'll be here again. You'll see yourself lifting table, and then you will tell us whether your involvement resulted in the breaking of the table. And so you are discharged for today. We'll invite you tomorrow again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
We'll call the next witness, Honorable Gakpe. Okay. So whilst doing that, we will ask the cameras for the Parliament. We can go to Parliament chambers now, but we'll continue with the witness, taking the witness statement. Thank you.
Them to go.
Okay, no. So
I, Kwame Jijoli Gakpe,
swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Kwame Gakpe, we know you are not a member of the appointment committee as per the names that we have here. But on the 30th of January, we saw you in the video participating actively in the proceedings here. Can you tell us, this committee, what transpired and why were you involved in activities here on that fateful day?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Despite the fact that I'm not a permanent member, I came to the committee as a sector rep for Agric. So I was participating. And then, Mr. Chair, by our standing order, you can look at order 2676. A member who is not a member of the committee may partake in the proceedings of committee unless the House or committee concerned determines otherwise. But a member shall not vote or move any motion nor be part of any quorum. When you look at the same order, order 7, when you look at 2677, a person who is not a member of a committee may attend in-camera meetings of a committee subject to approval of the committee. Mr. Chair, being a member of parliament, I can participate in any committee meeting. It's only I don't have voting right as a member of parliament. So coming to this committee to participate, I'm not doing anything different, but doing my duty as a member of parliament. That is why I'm here.
That is why you were there, not here today. That's why you were there on the 30th.
Because the committee meeting is here, that is why.
Okay,
sorry.
So Honorable Gakpe,
yeah.
What did you witness on that day? Because we saw you in the camera,
yes.
We saw you in the video,
yes.
Actively involved
yes.
in the process.
The committee is more or less like I've been actively involved in participating in observing things in the committee. I don't miss any committee meeting because as part of the process, we are learning. So I involve myself fully to learn and learn more, and so lend my support to my colleagues who have been designated as ministers of state. So I have a lot of friends. So when they are coming to vetting, I come to listen to them because it's a learning process. So I have participated in all meetings right from the beginning. But starting from Tuesday, I saw that on Tuesday, there was a disruption on Tuesday in the evening. On Wednesday, too, the same thing happened. That is why the speaker of the minister designate for trade and then children and women affairs also were here. They were not able to vet them, and then there are a lot of chiefs and people were here. You can imagine you bring a lot of these chiefs who are prominent chiefs with your supporters, and you are not being vetted. It's put them. Some of them were so sad. So based on that, Thursday, the Wednesday, the issue happened. I would say simply that the issue that happened is just a takeover. I see it as a coup, because if you have a committee who have membership and you have a quorum to proceed, you can proceed, but it's a takeover.
Honorable member, just tell us what you saw,
yeah,
what you witnessed on that day.
I say what I witnessed is like a takeover. It's exactly what happened. Because if you are in a committee, you don't want to participate, you walk out. But disrupt the activities of the committee, where the committee have quorum to proceed. So it's a takeover. That's how I look at it. And then I saw that the truth of the matter is that Akando was a proxy. And that's what I'm saying. Because
Honorable Akando
was a proxy. The reason why I say it was proxy is because the moment Honorable Okuyeto arrived and I ushered Honorable Okuyeto to go and sit down, the majority leader came hard on me that I should stop what I'm doing. Why? Why is the minority leader? That why? What am I that should stop that? And I say, so I can't usher in my own brother, offered him a seat to sit. Is it a crime? So to be truthful to you as a committee, Honorable Kujato Blacko was the target, not Akando. Akando was just used as what? A proxy. The target, the whole thing focused on disruption. Everything that happened in the committee room is because of Honorable Kujato. If you swear in Akando, he will see, they will deal with him. To be truthful to this committee, the clerk in question, she's my direct auntie. And I'm a family to the clerk. So threat of such nature also actually affect me myself. When I was sitting down, my auntie was being vilified, partisan person, they would deal with him and all that in the full glare of the camera. Are you inciting your people against my family to be lynched or to be killed? I was so devastated, and I was so happy about that. And even that day, I have to organize press conference to condemn the minority for attacking an innocent clerk who have worked here for 19 good years without doing anything. He takes instruction from the chair. He doesn't take her own instruction. And Anodom also use word.
Honorable Anodom.
Yes, sir, we will meet you. We will deal with you. These are the issues. Leaders in parliament, these are kind of messages coming from somebody who is working as a parliamentary staff. I mean, it is unjustified, it is uncalled for, and then I think they should render and qualify apology to the clerk of the parliament. In addition to that...
That one doesn't lie in our map. I'm sure the honorable minority leader did that yesterday. So, honorable member, it looks like all the things that you've just mentioned were what we witnessed in the video. And so we will ask colleagues if they have any question for you. Otherwise, we will take the clerk now because he has to attend upon other parliamentary works in the House. So, colleagues, yeah.
Before you move on, some of us, based on what happened, we need to protect state property. So when you go to Article 41, under the Chapter 5 of Directive Principles of State Policy, Article 41 states and stipulates, especially the F, to protect, preserve public property and expose or combat misuse, waste of public fund and property. It is clearly stated. So we are here just to defend members of parliament, to defend the Constitution of Ghana. And exactly that's what we did. And then when you look at the same article, you look at article, the same 41K, to protect and safeguard the environment. At that time, the environment was not good. So at that time, even the marshals were helpless. They were there, but they were helpless. And one thing I found out is that issues relating to members of parliament, the police and the marshal are very hesitant because they have that respect for the members of parliament. So they don't want to go in like they are arresting or doing anything. So as members of parliament, we need to comport ourselves to have such a situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, except to say that the 41K to protect and safeguard the environment wasn't talking about the environment where there was fighting. It was talking about the surrounding and the ecology. Thank you. Colleagues, do you have any question for me?
Yes. Honorable Gaki, thank you for your vivid description.
Who eventually fought with our chief whip is also part. So that is what I would say, that in addition to that, as a members of parliament, the people hold us high esteem. So we should do the needful. So we should do the needful, not to be engaging in such activity to lower our morale, because the activities actually lead to tarnishing the image of parliament as well as ourselves. And then we want to use the platform to apologize to the people of
Thank you very much. All the people you've mentioned, we've also watched the video, and they are supposed to be here tomorrow. And so tomorrow you'll be called upon again, because we saw you lifting tables, and that is where you were pushing table as well. Tables were pushed back, and you were pushed here, and you were pushing it back. to rearrange. You have to tell us why you did that, but that's for tomorrow. Today is for you to tell us that, yes, indeed, you are on. On that note, you are discharged. Thank you for attending upon the committee. Can we have the clerk? Since time is not on our side, we'll have the clerk, after which we'll have the marshal. We may have to... Tomorrow. So we want to take the clerk and the whip, marshal. Maybe the rest of our colleagues will do that tomorrow, so that we'll take you tomorrow, because we need to get back to the chamber.
I, Gifty Nuna Ami Jiage Goba.
Swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing
so
but
help
the
me
truth.
God.
So help me God.
Thank you, Miss, shall we Mrs. Gifty Jage Goba. I don't know why my clerk put Miss there, for coming to testify. And also let me put on record. Let me put on record that the minority leader yesterday apologized to you for what has happened, and therefore will not go into those issues of insult or whatever. But you are the clerk to the appointment committee. Can you just tell us what you saw on that fateful day, the 30th of January, as well as the 31st of January, during your committee's work in this hall?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have watched the video you have shared, and it is a true reflection of the one who took the video from the position that he stood or she stood. On that fateful Thursday, from the video you shared, we had commenced proceedings, and the proceedings were disrupted, and the members went into a conclave in the Director of Protocol's office, and they agreed on how to proceed. But before that commencement of the meeting, I'd had various instructions. Aside what the chairman gave, the chief whip also called and sent both voice notes and texts, which I communicated same to the chairman. And after that, the committee went into a conclave. And so we started the proceedings.
Someone else's mic. Yes. Sorry, I'm just trying to ascertain which chief whip, majority or minority chief whip?
Minority, Honorable Anodompre. He sent text and voice notes in addition. So after the Honorable Nikpe was being taken, we realized that there was so much chaos going on, and as a clerk to the committee, it's my duty to keep order and make sure things are done properly. And it was brought to my attention that one of the doors has been ruptured, and because it was a glassware, I quickly informed the marshal about it. But in the process, I felt within myself, as a clerk, you have your ears and your eyes, and you are watching, and you could sense. So in my spirit, I wasn't feeling right. And so I yielded to the Holy Spirit to call my boss, the clerk. So I called the clerk, pleaded with him that wherever he is, he should please come to my aid, because what is happening is beyond my control. He indicated to me that he was at the send-off of the former clerk, and he's really in the tight corner, but looking at my pleading, he would try and come. Within a matter of 5 minutes, the clerk was here with his usher. So I excused myself in the midst of the proceedings of Honorable Nikpe and went into the adjacent room where I had instructed my secretariat to provide tea and coffee to the honorable members because it was way beyond sitting hours and we hadn't prepared for dinner. And so I briefed my boss, the clerk to Parliament, about what was going on and what I had sensed that it looks like we may have some disruption. So I was in there when my secretariat signaled to me that the chairman is calling me to swear in Honorable Akando. And Honorable Akando was seated in this seat. So I rushed through where the cameras were through the door and came in and stood by my chair. I didn't hear the directive, I was told. So when I came, I was looking at the chair. What is the directive? Waiting for prompting. But then my boss, the clerk to Parliament, was also there. And then the insults and disruption started. You have asked that I shouldn't go into that, so I went. And so I was shocked. I was still standing. If you look at the video, you could see the shock on my face, and I was like, what is going on? And so I was comforted, and I was resolute, seeing my boss at the end trying to calm the two leaders. And so I sent one of my secretariat ladies to seek guidance from my boss, who is the clerk to Parliament. At that point, there was, so much disruption. There was scuffles going on this side where I was. Over there, members were, there was so much screaming here and there. The chief whip came to my side. Some of the majority leaders, members came to my side that I should swear, I should let the nominee take the oath. And I pointed to them respectfully that my boss is standing right here. It is in his shoes that I step in. And so if I don't get indication from him, I am not going to take order from anybody. And so they kept, screaming at me. I should let the nominee take the oath. My minority leader was also screaming and hailing. I don't want to go into it because you've asked me to, so we've all watched the video, and the video is there to speak clearly. And so at a point, I got hot, so I started fanning myself, and I took a seat. And all that you saw in the video transpired. At the tail end, when the majority leader was trying to engage both, I got 3 calls and a message from my dear husband instructing me to leave the premises immediately. And that's order I took and I'd heard, and I left. I exited through this door and went to stand in front of the clerk's office, waiting for him to inform him of my leave to go home, because my husband, my dear husband, has requested me to come. And so,
okay. We are getting indication from the clerk of Parliament, and I want to put on record. The clerk of Parliament has instructed that we should suspend the sitting until further notice, and therefore I want everybody to be aware that it is not the committee that has decided to stop, but the clerk to Parliament of Ghana has requested that until you get further instruction from the Speaker, the committee should suspend its sitting. On that note, we want to discharge you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you. And I want to inform all the media house here that we'll get back to you. We're waiting for instruction from the Speaker, who has formed this committee, and then by tomorrow, we'll let you know the next step. Thank you very much, and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
an attitude that is very disruptive. For me, I find it very difficult to go back on my words, having agreed with you, this is what we are going to do. Now, the whole thing started this way. We'll program the vetting, we'll all agree on the numbers. Sometimes, on the day of the vetting, instruction will be given to the clerk that the minority will be engaged in doing one thing or the other. So instead of 9 o'clock, the vetting should rather start at 10. And when it happens that way, the entire program for that day is affected. Affected in the sense that what you have to do between 9 and 10, you will not be able to do it. And then it carries forward. That resulted into a particular day where Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu-Ajare was supposed to be vetted. We've given her every assurance that she is on the list to be vetted. It got to her. The minority side said they were tired, they wouldn't be able to continue the vetting. And I was trying to persuade them that in view of the fact that some revered chiefs came all along from Techima, we can endure and vet her for that day to enable them leave the following day. This has even brought Honorable Ayariga between the majority and the...
So,
I will come to the actual...
No, we want to know what date are you talking about, especially the Honorable Ajare's story?
The date specifically, I'm not good at keeping dates, but it was the day. She was vetted anyway. So when negotiations failed, we were compelled to go and apologize to the chief leaders. It would be unfair not to vet them. So we should go ahead with the vetting. Honorable committee members, if you go to play the video on that Tuesday, what we agreed upon...
Was it a Wednesday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Before Mr.
Vomawa on Wednesday.
Okay.
When we even resumed sitting, you could see the posture of the minority whip that we will not continue the vetting, banging the table. We will not continue the vetting that day. I employ the committee members to look at the proceedings on that Tuesday. So that was the posture. We had to permeate our way through to be able to do the vetting of the people selected for that day. Now at conclave, we agree that Wednesday would deal with the issue pertaining to Oliver Baker Vomawa. Then thereafter, we'll continue to do vetting. Again, the posture from the minority side was that Tuesday, there would be no vetting. That Wednesday, there will be no vetting on Wednesday. Life is all about give and take. As a result, we are not able to vet any nominee on Wednesday, and then we use the Wednesday to deal with the issues pertaining to Mr. Oliver Baker Vomawa. Though we closed early because of the decision that there was not going to be vetting, we then used the period to task the clerk with the responsibility to merge that Wednesday with Thursday. the nominees that are to be vetted on Wednesday that we couldn't do, she should merge it with Friday, and then let's look at the number. Now the number became 8, and at a meeting, we've decided that if on average we have to use 2 hours on one person, then that would have been 16 hours of sitting. It would have been too much, given the fact that some people may be vetted within 1 hour. We agreed to do the first 6. First, it was the first 5. Then I received a call from Honorable Minority Leader that he is okay, we can add a candle to be taken on that day. Therefore, 6 people were programmed to be taken. Then there was an agreement that the backlog, being the 2, should be added to the following day, which is Friday. And if we are not able to exhaust, then we can take a decision whether we are coming on Saturday or it should be Monday or Tuesday. In fact, this has also brought in Honorable Mahama Ayariga, the leader of the House. And he even came out to say that clearly we need to negotiate the Saturday because Saturday is not a working day. So therefore, if you are not able to finish on Friday and we cannot come on Saturday, then probably Monday or Tuesday will be the next available date. So I was surprised that in the morning of that Thursday, the clerk came to me to say that instead of what we have agreed upon, she has received a text message from the minority whip in the person of Anodompre, which text message she showed to me that we are only going to do 4. That is why I have a difficulty. You agree on one thing, then behind you want to do another thing. I wasn't comfortable. So I just told the clerk that whatever we agreed upon, that is what we are going to do. So on that Thursday, we had programmed to start the first person at 9 o'clock. I came to office around 8:30, about 8:45. I received a call from the assistant clerk to the effect that he had received a call from Honorable Anodompre that there will be a caucus meeting of the minority. Therefore, instead of 9 o'clock, we should again start proceedings at 10 o'clock. For me, as a member of parliament, you may not have control over a caucus meeting. So when they are going to have a caucus meeting, I have no problem about it. So I have decided to walk to the chamber. Then on my way to the chamber, I met few MPs from the minority side and asked, I understand you are having a caucus meeting. Are you not attending the caucus meeting? Only for me to be told that there was no caucus meeting. So 10 o'clock, I have decided to start the vetting. And when they walk in after I have started, I told them in a plain language that I do not like the seat. We are all members of parliament. If you have a challenge of a caucus meeting,